Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird in New York City. You're looking at my closet collage, and I'm going to read you some of the most revealing information I've ever read you. So I'll begin. This is from Global Research Site. I'm mainstreaming clues to you. And it's called The True Story of the Bilderberg Group and What They May Be Planning Now by Stephen Lindman. Okay, I'll keep the camera on the collage. This article was originally published on Global Research in May 2014. For over 14 years, Daniel Esterlin has investigated and researched the Bilderberg Group's far-reaching influence on business and finance, global politics, war and peace, and control of the world's resources and its money. His book, The True Story of the Bilderberg Group, was published in 2005. And is now updated in a new 2009 edition. He states that in 1954, the most powerful men in the world met for the first time in Oosterbeek, Netherlands, debated the future of the world, and decided to meet annually in secret. They called themselves the Bilderberg Group, with the membership representing a who's who of world power elites, mostly from America, Canada, and Western Europe, with familiar names like David Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, Bill Clinton, Gordon Brown, Angela Merkel, and Alan Greenspan, Ben Bernanke, Larry Summers, Tim Geithner, Lord Blankfein, George Soros, Donald Rumsfeld, Rupert Murdoch, other heads of state, influential senators, congressmen, and parliamentarians, Pentagon, and NATO brass. Okay, I decoded Pentagon. It says pen of terrestrial, a girl ordered in. Okay, of course, Eve is a terrestrial they're talking about, and she's using her pen to write the truth for the Judgment Day report she's doing for Gurinder Singh, who is the son of the sun and the architect of the heaven on earth. NATO brass. Brass, she decoded be her as sun. She is going to be as sun because she's the daughter of the sun. Okay, where are we got? Okay, you got light here, and that's the sun. I don't know. Wow, I have all these pictures. I don't have any pictures of myself. I have a picture of my body here that's pregnant with twins by Gurinder Singh and the sun, due February 14th. St. Valentine's Day. Gurinder Singh is St. Valentine, as well as Jesus Christ, Santa Claus, and the Buddha. Okay, members of we're still talking about the members of the Bilderberg Group. Members of European royalty selected media figures and invited others, some quietly and some accounts like Barack Obama and many of his top officials. Always represented are top figures from the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, IMF, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and powerful central bankers, Trilateral Commission, European Union, and powerful central bankers from the Federal Reserve, the ECB's Jean-Claude Trichet, and Bank of England's Mervyn King. For over half a century, no agenda nor discussion topics became public, nor is any press coverage allowed. The few invited fourth estate attendees and their bosses are sworn to secrecy. Nonetheless, Esterlin undertook an investigative journey that became his life's work. He states, "Slowly, one by one, I have penetrated the layers of secrecy surrounding the Bilderberg Group, but I could not have done this without help of conscientious objectors from inside as well as outside the group's membership. As a result, he keeps their names confidential. Whatever its earlier mission, the group is now a shadow world government, threatening to take away our right to direct our own destinies by creating a disturbing reality very much harming the public's welfare. In short, Bilderbergers want to supplant individual nation-state sovereignty with an all-powerful global government, corporate-controlled and checkmated by militarized enforcement." That's why it was very brave of President Trump to say, "I'm a nationalist." He was Gobind Singh, the 10th Sikh guru. Mike Pence was Teague Sardar Bahadur, the 9th Sikh guru. In other words, they were both saints of Jesus Christ consciences. Okay, so back to this report. Imagine a private club. This is the Bilderberg Group I'm talking about here. Imagine a private club where presidents, prime ministers, international bankers, and generals rub shoulders, where gracious royal chaperones ensure everyone gets along, and where the people running the wars, markets, and Europe and America say what they never dare say in public. Early in its history, Bilderbergers decided to create an aristocracy of purpose between Europe and the United States to reach consensus to rule the world on matters of policy, economics, and overall strategy. NATO was essential for their plans to ensure perpetual war and nuclear blackmail to be used as necessary. Then proceed to loot the planet, achieve fabulous wealth and power, and crush all challengers to keep it. You understand, I'm describing the Bilderbergers. Along with military dominance, controlling the world's money is crucial, for with it comes absolute control, as the powerful 19th century Rothschild family understood. As a patriarch, Amschel Rothschild once said, "Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws." Bilderbergers comprise the world's most exclusive club. No one buys their way in. Only the group's steering committee decides whom to invite, and in all cases, participants are adherents to one world order government run by top power elites. According to steering committee rules, the invited guests must come alone. No wives, girlfriends, husbands, or boyfriends. Personal assistants, meaning security, bodyguards, CIA, or other Secret Service protectors, cannot attend the conference and must eat in a separate hall. Also, the guests are explicitly forbidden from giving interviews to journalists or divulge anything that goes on in meetings. Host governments provide overall security to keep away outsiders. One-third of attendees are political figures. The others are from industry, finance, academia, labor, and what is this word? COMM, Commonwealth? Berkkoners. Okay, I don't know what that word is. Meeting procedure is by Chatham House rules, letting attendees freely express their views in a relaxed atmosphere, knowing nothing said will be quoted or revealed to the public. Meetings are always frank, but do not always conclude with consensus. Membership consists of annual attendees, around 80 of the world's most powerful, and others only invited occasionally because of their knowledge or involvement in relevant topics. Those most valued are asked back, and some first-timers are chosen for their possible later usefulness. Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, for example, who attended in 1991, there, David Rockefeller told him why the North American Free Trade Agreement was a Bilderberg priority and that the group needed him to support it. The next year, Clinton was elected president, or was he selected president? And on January 1st, 1994, NAFTA took effect. Numerous other examples, and NAFTA, of course, is where the jobs went to Mexico and left America. Numerous other examples are similar, including who gets chosen for powerful government, military, and other key positions. Bilderberg objectives. The group's grand design is for a one world government, world compound, with a single global marketplace, policed by one world army, and financially regulated by one world central bank using one global currency. Their wish list includes 1. International identity, observing one set of universal values. Centralized control of world populations by mind control, in other words, controlling world public opinion, as they do now with the media. A new world order with no middle class, only rulers and serfs, and of course, no democracy. A zero-growth society without prosperity or progress, only greater wealth and power for the rulers. Manufactured crises and perpetual wars. You see, this is what is going on now. This is their agenda. Absolute control of education to program the public mind and train those chosen for various roles. Centralized, I used to say I was educated to be a maid, based on the education I received in my school in Clarksville, Tennessee, called Cobb Elementary School and Byrd High School, which I quit from sheer boredom and because my family was falling apart. My sister was pregnant, not married. My mother had a boyfriend and rarely came home. There was no father. So I just left and went to Chicago and tried to start another life. Okay, so back to the Bilderberg agendas. Centralized control of all foreign and domestic policies. One size fits all globally. Okay, I decoded fits all. Feel our sex, talk and share. Okay, to talk and share is to feel intimate pleasure because you communicate heart to heart. Okay, no bullshit with talk and share. It's real. Okay, this is the Bilderberg agenda, still talking about it, using the UN as a de facto world government, imposing a UN tax on world citizens, expanding NAFTA and WTO globally, making NATO a world military, imposing a universal legal system and a global welfare state where obedient slaves will be rewarded and nonconformists targeted for extermination. Secret Bilderberg partners. In the U.S., the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, is dominant. One of its 1921 founders, Edward Mandell House, was Woodrow Wilson's chief advisor and rumored at the time to be the nation's real power from 1913 to 1921. On his watch, the Federal Reserve Act passed in December 1913, giving money creation power to bankers, and the 16th Amendment was ratified in February, creating the federal income tax to provide a revenue stream. You understand, before then, there was no income tax. Revenue. All revenue, all revenue. It's our venue, Saint reams of paper. Okay, I'm saying that my reams of paper are my venue. My venue is not Congress, speaking in Congress. My venue is writing on paper to pay for government debit service. Okay, so the tax was to provide a revenue stream to pay for government debt service. Okay, from its beginnings, the Council on Foreign Relations was committed to a one-world government based on a centralized global financing system. Today, the CFR has thousands of influential members, including important ones in the corporate media, but keeps a low public profile, especially regarding its real agenda. It doesn't tell anybody what it's really about and what it's doing and what it plans to do. Historian Arthur Schlesinger Jr. called it a front organization for the heart of the American establishment. It meets privately. We're talking about the CFR now, the Council on Foreign Relations. It meets privately and only publishes what it wishes the public to know. Its members are only Americans. The Trilateral Commission, discussed below, is a similar group that brings together global power brokers. Founded by David Rockefeller, he's also a leading Bilderberger and CFR chairman. David Rockefeller is really powerful. Emeritus organizations he continues to finance and support. Their past and current members reflect their power. Nearly all presidential candidates of both parties, leading senators and congressmen, key members of the Fourth Estate and their bosses, and top officials of the FBI, CIA, NSA, defense establishment, and other leading government agencies, including state, commerce, the judiciary, and treasury. You see, they're all in cahoots. For its part, the CFR has served as a virtual employment agency for the federal government under both Democrats and Republicans. Whoever occupies the White House, CFR's power and agenda have been unchanged since its 1921 founding. It advocates a super state with America and other nations sacrificing their sovereignty to a central power. That's why Trump said, I'm a nationalist. I'm about sovereignty. See? That's why the media jumped on it. Because the Bilderbergers and CFR and Trilateral Commission said, no, you jump on that. You tell the people that that's a bad thing to be a nationalist, to be sovereign. You want to be a globalist and be under the thumb of the United Nations, who never did a thing positive with America, even though we pay most of the UN expenses. CFR founder Paul Warburg was a member of Roosevelt's Brain Trust. Roosevelt, if they're talking about Franklin, was one of the first socialist presidents. In 1950, his son James told the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, "We shall have world government whether or not you like it, by conquest or consent." Later, at the 1992 Bilderberg Group meeting, Henry Kissinger said, "Today, Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful." You see their plan? Okay, also I decoded Henry Kissinger. Heaven, her, I. I, her, heaven. Kissinger. And I is Eve, the mother of the earth. Kissinger. Kiss singer Gene Simmons. Kiss. The group Kiss, the singer Gene Simmons, is a projection of Gurinder Singh, Eve's brother. So yes, she would kiss him. That's her brother. Gurinder Singh, oh, I wrote it. Gurinder Singh projection, yeah. Henry Kissinger said okay, I read that. Let me read it again. Today, Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence, such as 9/11 bullshit that they set up, the Israeli operatives set up. It is then that all people of the world will plead with the world leaders to let the Holy Royal Family deliver them from evil. Individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their will being granted to them by their world government. The 10 Sikh Guru Gobind Singh Ji, President Donald John Trump, and the Holy Royal Family. You see, I'll put that in there instead of the CFR and the Bilderberg's plan, because Gurinder Singh has architected the Holy Royal Family to be the rulers. I'm just reading you what's been going on in the past and will be going on until we assume power. The Council on Foreign Relations planned a new world order before 1942, and the UN began with a group of CFR members called the Informal Agenda Group. They drafted the original UN proposal, presented it to Franklin Roosevelt, who announced it publicly the next day. At its 1945, that's the year of my birth, founding, CFR members comprised over 40 of the U.S. delegates. The delegated authority to be given up now, January 2009, and given to the Holy Royal Family by order of the highest authority, the Son, who is everywhere at the same time, unfathomable and unlimited eternal power. According to Professor G. William Domhoff, author of Who Rules America, the CFR operates in small groups of about 25 who bring together leaders from the 6 conspirator categories: industrialists, financiers, ideologues, military professional specialists, lawyers, medical doctors, etc. And then I added astrologers, talk and share specialists, and organized labor. Over here, let's see what I have here. Industrialists, we decoded. Underground trained us. U.S. Saint trial lists. Will our saints talk and share? I will saints with talk and share. All-powerful saints, good geniuses, talk and share. Okay, this is for clear minds and communication, not about secrecy and tricks and greed and evilness. So for detailed discussions of specific topics in the area of foreign affairs, Domhoff added, the Council on Foreign Relations, while not financed by government, works so closely with it that it is difficult to distinguish council action stimulated by government from autonomous actions. Okay, actions decoded. Actions, natural sources. Okay, that is what the Holy Family is about. Holy Royal Family is about natural sources. Now, back to the report. Its most important sources, meaning the Council on Foreign Relations, of income are leading corporations and major foundations. And there's a book I suggest you read by David Horowitz called Leviathan. It exposes the major corporations. Major foundations. All right. The Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Ford, Henry Ford was Eve Foundation, to name three, and they're no longer directed by key corporate officials, by the heads of the Holy Royal Family. And they're out by the heads of the Holy Royal Family. We surrender to you, sweet Govinda. Govinda Singh, Jesus Christ, first 20 and 21st century. The Buddha, Asian Buddhism, Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, patron saint of children, St. Valentine, patron saint of lovers, including husbands and their wives, Pretty Flowers, the wives of Pretty Flowers, wrongly named skunk in the Disney movie Bambi. Yeah, that was a trick. They named the skunk Flowers knowing that ladies are flowers. So in effect they were calling ladies skunks. Dominant media partners. Former CBS News President Richard Salem, 1961, 1964, and 1966 to 79, explained the major media's role. Our job is to give people not what they want, but what we decide they ought to have. Now, you'll see that. There it is. That's what's going on with the media. Former CBS News President Richard Salem, who was from 1961 and 1964 at CBS, and 1966 and 1979, explained the major media's role. Our job is to give people not what they want, but what we decide they ought to have. And that is what they still do today. They don't give us what we want, which is the truth, but they give us what they want us to believe, and that is their agenda. Lies, smears, distortions, fake news. And President Trump, former Gobind Singh Ji, the Sikh 10th guru, had the courage and the wisdom to know and say fake news. He told us the truth. Okay, I'm gonna stop for now, and I'll do part 2 on the next video. Okay, it's Mal Red Songbird in New York City signing off for now.